to the Grueling Truths National Championship Game post-game wrap-up. We are brought to you by MyBookie.ag. I am your host, Mike Goodpaster. Right now, I want to welcome in my co-host, member of the Indiana High School Basketball Hall of Fame, and a member of the 1981 National Championship Indiana Hoosiers. Help me welcome to the show, Steve Risley. How you doing, Steve?
Mike, I am on such a high right now. It is unbelievable. What a great year for college basketball. What a great triumph for Villanova. A great run for Michigan. And based on the way this season started with the discussion of scandal and cheating, to see two great programs come to the end here and both play true to their own game, and the best team won. I mean, you cannot debate that. You can't dispute that. Clearly, it came down to the magic of Michigan versus the talent of Villanova. And God bless them, Villanova's talent proved once again that if you are good at something, you will win more times than you will lose. Congratulations.
Yeah, and the thing that's impressive about Villanova is they're a juggernaut. They beat everybody by double digits, and juggernauts are not supposed to look like this in college basketball without a superstar, a catchy nickname, a lineup of future NBA All-Stars, or the air and intimidation of moxing that is palpable even in layup lines. Villanova has none of those things, but what it does have is it maintains, I mean, when you watch them, it's like a tactical, almost apologetic dominance throughout this NCAA tournament. A great starting five. The two guys come off the bench, as you saw DiVincenzo tonight with 31 points. I mean, this is the most dominant team we've seen in years, I think. And what I compare this to, Steve, is I wrote the article today that pissed off a lot of people that the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers were the greatest team of all time. And this team, they don't play the same style that team did. But what you have is you have great coaching. You have great leadership from Jay Brunson. You had it from Quinn Buckner with the 76 team. And none of these guys will probably be all NBA anything. But in the end, this is a team that played exactly the way Coach Jay Wright wants his team to play.
Well, there's so much discussion in what you just said. A1, college basketball is nothing like the NBA. I mean, college basketball is a game of a group of players that get together and play as a team and play for a common goal. The NBA is a game that's played for a lot of individual goals, and you hope you're able to mesh them together to achieve a common goal. Large difference there. Secondly, Jack Welch always spoke to the paradigm shift. If you're not staying ahead of your opponents and what your competition is doing, you will get swallowed up. And certainly Villanova is a program right now who is making, and Jay Wright, who's making incredible paradigm shifts and staying ahead of his competition and finding ways to win in the most competitive environment in college basketball of all time. Your article on Indiana was great, but I don't think that Indiana faced the overall competition that Villanova faced this year. And that's not to say that Indiana still would not have gone undefeated. It still would not be considered one of the one or two greatest college basketball teams of all time. Actually, maybe one of the three, the 75 Indiana team, probably being a little bit better than the 76 Indiana team, just due to a serious injury. But the paradigm shift involved in changing game, the level of competition that's played today, for the way for Villanova to win, true to their own game, is what makes college basketball so doggone fun to watch, and why I'm so proud to have my own ring and to be a part of this game and to watch the development and growth of it and see teams like Villanova evolve. The days of the big four of the Kentucky, the Indiana, the Duke, the North Carolina, the Kansas 4 or 5 are all gone. I mean, there were probably 20 teams that had a chance to win this thing this year, but the best team won it, bar none. And when you have that much competition, you rely more on talent than you do on luck. And certainly, when it's down to 4 or 5 teams, luck will win it for you. But when there's that much competition in the game, there's that many teams that can win it, it takes the talent to rise above all the luck and find ways to win. And certainly, except for maybe the first 2 or 3 minutes of this game, Villanova stepped up and said, you got to take it away from us if you want it. And Michigan's luck just did not have enough time in the game to overcome Villanova's talent. Yeah. Congratulations to Jay Wright. Congratulations to Villanova. Job well done.
And we talked last night, and you and John Einreinhofer were completely wrong, and I was completely right. But I'm not going to say I told you so. But the thing that stood out to me is this.
Sure, you have every right to gloat.
I thought the first 6 minutes of that game, I'm watching and I'm thinking Michigan could win this game. The problem was they come out of that 6 minutes with a 3-point lead. I think we were texting each other at the time, and the thing that stood out to me is Michigan had a 3-point lead, and in those first 6 minutes missed 3 or 4 wide-open threes that if they could make just 2 of them, you got a 9 or 10-point lead, and then you can put pressure on Villanova and see what happens. Now, I think from watching Villanova all year, they would have handled it all right, but we don't know because it's never been in a one-and-done situation. But I think Michigan basically kind of screwed the pooch right at the start of that game. And when you look at the stats, there's 2 things that stand out to me, because if you look at the field goal percentage, Villanova was 47.5%, Michigan was almost 44%, but from the 3-point line, Michigan was 3 for 23, Villanova was 10 for 27, and you look at offensive rebounds, Villanova out-rebounded them on the offensive boards 2-1 and had a 26-21 advantage on the defensive side. So when you look at this, I think what it came down to was everybody talks about everybody, whether it's Michigan, West Virginia, Texas Tech. When they play Villanova, everybody says, well, these teams are great on defense. And I think people really missed the point that Villanova is really good. And Mo Wagner dominated the first 5 minutes, and Villanova completely took him out of the game from there.
Yeah, no doubt. And that falls on Jay Wright's shoulders to be able to take Wagner out of the game. But, there's an old saying that I live by, even when I'm on the golf course and I'm not playing as good as my opponent, or I'm playing in any kind of event. I always just go back to this and say, champions find a way. Champions find a way. And it's so true in that, and we said the difference was going to be was Michigan's ability to be chameleon-like and play different ways to play. And Villanova's strength was a kind of a world dominance type mentality. But they were so good at what they did that Michigan just couldn't find a way. And obviously nobody other than Butler a couple times. And that's turning out to maybe being somewhat of a misnomer as well. But nobody could find a way. And for anything that Coach Beeline, he's a great coach, threw at him, Coach Wright had an answer for. It was well prepared. And, Coach Knight used to tell us, everybody has the will to win. Very few people have the will to prepare to win. And certainly Villanova did their homework. They got ready to play. They came out to win the game, not to not lose the game, which I was hoping would be the differentiator in this game, but it wasn't. And so hats off to Villanova. I mean, they are the dominant team of college basketball right now, the dominant program. And
yeah, they've won 2 out of the last 3 national championships.
And they've got everybody coming back, technically, at this point right now, right? Don't they pretty much have most
I
of
know
their team coming back?
Brunson will actually graduate as a junior. That's how smart the dude is. I don't know if he's planning on going to the NBA or not, but if they stay, they've got to be number 1 going into next season. And if you look at these guys, the thing about them is the other day, everybody's talking about Pascal and Spellman and the way they played. Tonight, Pascal and Spellman didn't play that well, so Bridges and DiVincenzo played that well. And that's the thing that I've seen with this team all year is it's a different guy that steps up every night, and I think that is the key to having a great basketball team.
Well, it's like I've always said, I'll take a great team of players over a team of great players. And tonight, a great team of players beat a team of great players. Clearly with Wagner being the player that he was and the individuality that Michigan had brought and the luck that they were bringing to the table. But luck runs out eventually on everybody, and you hope it's always one game later than it needs to. But tonight it didn't for Michigan, and you should take nothing away from Michigan. The 14 games out of the last 15 they won, made an incredible run. Certainly a team that nobody predicted to be in the mix like this at the beginning of the season. But here they are, and I think it's a credit to the coach and the way he coached his team to stick together and find a common goal. But they were no match for Villanova, and obviously at this point in time, nobody was. So I'm not going to even debate this at any one point in time. I mean, it's just the best team won. I'm grateful for that. It makes me feel better about us winning a national championship because you always want the best team to win because it validates your win when you do. And you take away the flukes, and Michigan winning wouldn't have been a fluke to that great a degree, but it would have been an upset.
Yeah, it would have been an upset. There's no fluke when you get 6 games deep into an
championship game, right? Yeah, it's no fluke. There's no fluke.
It's just
but it would have been an upset.
It's just like this. I mean, Villanova, that was not a fluke when they beat Georgetown. Sure, they played the greatest game of their lives that night, and Georgetown couldn't make free throws, but it's still the fact that they had won 4 or 5 games to get to that point. And see, people forget that Villanova that year had played Georgetown twice in 1985, and I think they lost by 8 or 9 at Georgetown. And then they went to like overtime or double overtime and lost by 2 to Georgetown. And I think that people read way too much. And I think once a team gets to a Final Four, you can't even get near putting Cinderella on them anymore because Cinderella didn't get tapped 4 times at one time.
No, there's no Cinderella playing. You know, the only Cinderella in this tournament, as we said all along, was, you know, University of Maryland, Baltimore College. They were the Cinderella team. Everybody else was a qualified team to be playing in a tournament, and their talent and their luck carried them as far as it would carry them. And in the end, the team with the greatest talent and the greatest mix of luck, because I'm going to tell you what, if you're not playing your best game of your life in a championship game, you're probably not going to win that game because champions rise to the occasion. Champions find a way. I go back to that. And if you're not playing the best game of your life on this night, you aren't going to win. I mean, you're not going to slog your way through this game. And certainly Villanova did not do that. And I'm enjoying watching them as much as I enjoyed the run of UCLA's dynasty, of Indiana's dynasty, of North Carolina's dynasty. I mean, they go down in the annals with those types of programs now. When you start measuring great programs, Villanova has just elevated themselves right into that mix with those programs. Yeah. And that's an unusual name to be thrown in there with Kentucky, Indiana, Duke, Michigan, or Duke, North Carolina, UCLA. Now you're throwing Villanova in there, and it is every bit deserved. Congratulations.
Yeah. And the great thing for college basketball is with Villanova, you don't have a Rick Pitino or a John Calipari there. You have a guy that, at least from the outside looking in, he does this the right way. And as we said, Brunson, who's the best player in the country.
As does Beeline.
Yeah, as does Beeline. And Brunson is, you know, maybe the best player in the country, and he's going to graduate in just 3 years.
Yeah, and hopefully he plays another year. Hopefully he works his MBA and stays another year and uses his 4th year of eligibility and plays, because this kid, Brunson, will probably never have more fun playing basketball than he's having right now. And the only thing greater than winning a championship would be to come back and defending your championship. I never got the chance to do that, but I would think the only thing more fun than winning one outright is defending it and winning it again.
You know what he could do?
And so few people get that chance.
There's one thing he could do here that would really shake things up. I mean, as a graduate student, he could transfer to Indiana and not have to sit out a year and play next year.
Romeo who? Romeo who?
Well, we could have Romeo and Jay Brunson.
Or I'll take Romeo Langford for 100. Who is Brunson? Yeah, no, wouldn't we love that? But I don't think he's going anywhere. And, you know, I don't know what his value is or worth in the NBA, but I know you always have to follow the money for protection of your family and everything, and the security in life that goes along with that tag of getting the paycheck. But certainly the opportunity that a kid like that has to do something in an elite club that I'm in into an even greater elite club than even what I could ever dream of is having 2 rings. You know, there's so few of those in the world. So it'll be interesting to see that story play out, but right now you want to take nothing away from Coach Wright and his Villanova Wildcats, the city of Philadelphia, who now has the Super Bowl champions, the National College Basketball champions, and, well, it all goes to hell because baseball season's starting. There go the Phillies.
Yeah, but the Phillies, I think, could be a contender at least for a wild card this year.
Oh, God, we'll be debating that all summer long, won't we?
I hope not, but I guess we will.
Anyway, I had fun. I had fun watching the game. I had an enjoyable time, and it was fun to watch the execution and the thwarting of execution put on by Villanova. They took Michigan out of their game, and it would take a team of that kind of caliber to take Michigan out of the game. Michigan made a great run, and I do not want to sell anything short to Michigan. Still to win both NITs and to put a team in the championship game for the Big Ten, I think speaks a little bit higher of the Big Ten than we want to lead on to. Doesn't make them the conference. But what this really does, it continues to elevate the Big East as being not just a great conference, but a championship conference. I mean, there's a lot of Big East play out there now with teams that are coming into that conference that are making that maybe soon to be the premier basketball conference in college basketball.
You look at it like this.
If they're not already.
They are. I mean, who else had two Xavier, number one seeds?
Yeah. Right, yeah. And you can't start discounting that at all. You have to really look now at the Big East as playing the brand of basketball that we all love to see. It's a talent, finesse, and physicality game all rolled into one, where the ACC is a lot of finesse, Big Ten's a lot of physicality, Pac-West is a lot of shooting and offensive scoring. But the Big East just kind of puts it all together and brings you really stunning basketball on a day in and day out basis.
Yeah, because
every game in the Big East is fun to watch.
I think all four of Villanova's losses were in Big East play.
I'm sure they were. Yeah, I'm sure they were. Yeah, no doubt. 2 of them to Butler.
Yeah, and I think they lost to Seton Hall and Providence, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, I'm not either. But irregardless, I mean, yeah, it certainly it elevates the game, and what it does is expands the talent pool, expands the reach of great teams that can win this tournament, and just makes it better for everybody those of us that are fans now and want to watch this thing and see it. Now, we can share the love a little bit now. We don't need the Big East winning everything all the time. So, but it's good for basketball. It is just a great. I know. I experienced this night. Trust me, every one of those kids will get on their plane to fly back to Philadelphia tomorrow morning. They're not going to remember a lot about tonight, but they're going to be treated like royalty tonight in San Antonio.
What are you saying, Steve? Are you saying that these college kids may drink?
No. Not at all. Not at all. They get high on life.
All right, we got a question on Spreaker that actually goes along with that. And that would be from Bob from Austin, Texas, wants to know what it was like after you guys left the locker room with Coach Knight and won the championship, and exactly what did go on that night.
Here are the exact words of Coach Knight when we won the championship. And he said, "Gentlemen, you've earned this. Enjoy the evening. Remember who you represent. Plane door closes at 6 a.m. in the morning." Those were the exact words. He said, "You've earned this. Enjoy the evening. Remember who you represent," which is Indiana basketball, Indiana University. The plane door closes at 6 a.m.
Wait a second. What are you going to enjoy if the plane door closes at 6 a.m. and you're out of the arena at, 11 or 11:30?
Remember, we started the game at 7:30 East Coast time, not at 9:50.
Yeah, but the game's still not over till 9:30, so you're not out of there till 10:30 or 11.
We learned real quick how much damage you can do between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. And here's what happened on that night. 4 players, Whitman, Kitchell, myself, and I think even Isaiah was with us. We got in a cab. We found a cab driver. He knew who we were, and we let him handle the evening for us. And he basically, somehow before 9/11, obviously, got the cab on the tarmac at 5:55 a.m. And we came out, and we'd actually called the managers and told them to pack up our bags and bring them to the airport, that we were not coming back to the hotel. And we got on the plane, and I remember nothing until we got to Assembly Hall the next morning. In the bus ride, we actually landed in Indianapolis, and we took a bus 45 miles south of Bloomington, and the entire road, I think it's 37, was lined with people all the way down, a wall of people on both sides cheering our bus on. We pulled right into Assembly Hall. We had a convocation, and I think I slept for 4 days after that.
So did you guys take Isaiah just because you figured, maybe Coach Knight wouldn't leave Isaiah, or if he was left, Isaiah would have a way to get you back home?
I think he just was part of the crew. I mean, he just was, that team was that close with everybody. And all throughout the night, we all kind of joined up together. We all ended up in the same place, all of us. But for the most part, everybody was getting onto the tarmac with our own team playing in a private, airport. So, and we all got on, as I recall, and none of us were in any shape to say or speak or do anything. Coach just smiled. It was the greatest look I ever got from him in my life. He just got on the plane. We all had to reek of alcohol. And
did Coach Knight reek of alcohol?
I didn't want to know. I didn't want to find out. I don't want to know. All I wanted to do was stay as far away from him. I'm thinking, wait, I'm a senior. What's he going to do? Bench me next year? He can't do anything to me. But still, that's how much we respected him. We were so that much afraid of him. But this is the night that any college basketball player plays for, lives to be a part of, and it's the ultimate party, the ultimate fantasy, the ultimate dream if you are a college basketball player. And I hope Villanova, San Antonio is a great city. They got the Riverwalk down there, and I'm sure they'll be shepherded and herded around. And I don't know, again, remember this was 1981, so almost 40 years ago, and restrictions are a lot tighter on what they do and things like that now. But it's a night that I'll never remember and I'll never forget. Let me put it to you in that frame of mind.
Well,
I don't remember anything about the evening.
You got a videotape of the game, so you'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be okay. It was
long as no videotape in the evening pops up, you'll be fine, right?
That was great. The iPhone had not been invented yet, or some of us would be in trouble right now.
All right, Steve. This is our last college basketball show till next season. If you heard us, we'll be doing the Indiana basketball show again next year. Plus, we're going to do a weekly show, it looks like, with John Einreinhofer, who also picked Michigan wrong while I was right. I don't want to bring that up too much because it'll sound like I'm bragging, but it did happen. So we will probably do a weekly college basketball show next year for the next season, but also starting every Sunday and Thursday night. I think we're starting at this Thursday night. We're going to have a new show, a general sports show with myself and Steve Risley called Survive and Advance. That will be on what time, Steve? 9 Eastern?
9 Eastern. Yeah, that's good for me.
Okay. We'll be at 9 Eastern every Sunday and Thursday night, so make sure you catch us this Thursday night. I don't know what the topics will be because it's sports and hard telling what will happen between now and Thursday. But I'm sure an NFL player will beat his wife or something and give us something interesting to talk about.
All right. I have no comment on that.
We will talk about every sport, even NASCAR. Now, I doubt we'll talk about soccer because soccer's stupid. But we'll talk about everything else in between here and there and whatever. We'll have some special guests.
Well, now you've just eliminated about 10,000 listeners right now.
I eliminated. Wait a second.
Which Steve, is the largest spectator sport in the world, in NASCAR, which is the largest spectator sport in the United States.
I said we were going to have that. I said we were going to have that. And the thing is this. I eliminated people that love soccer from listening to me years ago.
Okay. All right. Now, wait a minute. I owe you something.
You've got to sing One Shining Moment.
Here we go.
All right. Here we go, guys. Everybody be quiet. Bring the kids around.
You're a shooting star. And all the years, no one knows just how hard you worked, but now it shows. One shining moment, it's all on the line. One shining moment, there's frozen in time. The time is short, and the road is long. In the blink of an eye,
the dog's singing with you.
The moment's gone, and when it's done, win or lose, you always did your best because you inside you knew. One shining moment, you reached deep inside. One shining moment, you knew you were alive. That's it. That's as far as I'm going. The rest of
the dog's yelling at you to shut up, it sounds like.
Hey, let me tell you something. If you watch Game of Thrones, a Lannister always pays his debts.
Well, I don't watch Game of Thrones, but all right.
But no, I think it's been a lot of fun. We encourage you to send us things you want to talk about on the sports show. There's a lot of things we know a lot about, and there's more things we know nothing about. So we're going to count on people to get involved with us on doing a sports show. We'll try and make it fun. We'll try and make it informative. And know this, that whatever opinion we give you is going to be, our opinion and not something manufactured, because we ain't getting paid by anybody right now to do this. So we don't have to kowtow to any.
But if you're out there and you want to be a sponsor, you can hit us. You can hit us up at Grueling Truth, because we do get like 2 million hits a day on the website. So if you want to get your name out there, your business out there, make sure
I'm kind of hoping for Dunkin' Donuts. I just want a box of donuts at my house every morning.
We'll give them a call. We'll see if we can do something about this. So if anybody there works high up in Dunkin' Donuts, get a hold of us, because Steve will do it just for Dunkin' Donuts.
No, not just for, but that would be a nice perk. So actually, I'd like Range Rover to get involved. That'd be nice if they want to sponsor us.
Yeah, well,
but they already got Jay Bill. They got Jay Billis in the fold, so never mind that.
What about
but hey, congratulations again to Villanova. I mean, it was a great game. It was a great strategic game, coached by two great coaches, and both strategies were played out the way we thought they would, and the best team won. I mean, there's little luck involved in this game, which is the way it should be. Unfortunately, luck tends to take its toll on things that happen, but not tonight. Tonight, the best team controlled the tempo, controlled the outcome of the game, and decided the outcome of the game, and that's what makes this game so great. Champions do find a way.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap the show up. I want to remind you, Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern on thegruelingtruth.net. You can also find us on Spreaker. You go into Spreaker, search The Grueling Truth. You can hear the show live there also. Follow us on Twitter at Grueling Truth. When the show goes live, it'll be activated on there. You can click it. It'll take you right there.
Can I add one thing? I apologize for anybody who has a career in singing. I am not a challenge or a threat to any of you.
They already knew that, Steve.
I proved that.
Okay. Now,
Good night, everybody.
I think John Einreinhofer still needs to come on and sing a duet with you of it, but we'll let it go for right now.
I paid my penance. I'm done. I've retired.
All right, guys.
Elvis has left the building.
Remember, you get all the Grueling Truth shows by going to iTunes Radio or iTunes and punching into Grueling Truth. You can download the Grueling Truth app. Once again, you can follow us at thegruelingtruth.net, at Grueling Truth on Twitter, at Grueling Hoops if you want to follow Steve on Twitter, or at srisley34. So, for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.
Don't know.